Welcome everybody out to podcast number 319. Are you optimizing your project before you stabilize it? Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome everybody. I hope you're doing well. We've got a cool podcast for you tonight, and we're going to talk about the importance of stability and standards, and then the focus on optimization. So first of all, I do want to say I hope you're doing well. I'm going to talk about the production laws this week with Adam Hoots. So I'm flying to South Carolina on Wednesday, and I'm going to hijack some of his time, and we are going to have an absolute jamming time out there in South Carolina, and we're going to talk about the four main production laws that we can't fight against if we want to really be successful in construction. And so more about that. We also have a podcast from Joe Donnarummo, which is in editing right now, and much, much more this week. So tonight, we're really going to talk about the importance of stability and then optimization. But first, I want to talk about just a couple of things ahead of the podcast. So Elevate Construction, we do project recovery, training, boot camps, organizational health, and operational consulting for construction companies. If you have a question or you want to attend a boot camp or you need anything, you let me know. Give me a call at 602-571-8987 or at Jason S. at elevateconstructionist.com. IST stands for Insights, Solutions, and Training. So what am I excited about? We hired recently a business manager, Rachel Young. So she has recently graduated and has an education in finance and in business, and she's amazing. She'll be helping me with some of the day-to-day items so that I can continue to focus on content, taking care of customers, and being out there with you so that we can elevate the industry coast to coast. So super excited about that. That's a new thing for us at Elevate as we're expanding to better serve you. So one other thing, talk about fans and feedback. Here's what I got on Kajabi. I got another one. Thank you for putting this personal organization training together. I love the personal clarity template and the process I am going through to work through it. My mind is opening up to so many things that I've not previously considered about myself until now. Again, great work, Jason and the team at Elevate Construction. So I want to say thank you to that. That's really nice bit of feedback, and I absolutely love it. So let's get into the conflict right here. A lot of us in this industry are trying to optimize projects without first stabilizing them. Now, as a matter of habit, I will immediately stabilize a project, and then I'll attempt. Actually, that's a bad use of language. I won't attempt. I will begin the process of optimizing that project. But sometimes we get them backwards, and even sometimes in my excitement and zest for life to focus on the continuous improvement efforts and the scaling of continuous improvement videos and things like that, and the elimination of waste and memorizing the waste and 5Sing and things like that, I'll forget that we need to stabilize our environments. And up until now, that's why we're doing the podcast tonight. This is so pertinent and relevant to what we're talking about, and we need to know this information. So here's the concept. Everything thrives in stability. Everything thrives with standards. You can't improve on chaos. If on a scale of 1 to 10, if today was a 5 and tomorrow's a 2 and the day after that it's a 7, and you're improving by 1 point, then it's a 6, a 3, and an 8, right? But then once it goes back down to a 2, you're back down, right? You don't have a consistent environment, a consistent process, a consistent company, or whatever you have. You don't have stability and standards upon which to improve. And so we have to get to that point, meaning you cannot have improvement. You cannot have continuous improvement unless you have stability. You cannot have improvement. You cannot have continuous improvement unless you have standards. And there are people out there that will really fight against this. They love their autonomy so much. Hey, I don't want standards. I don't want these things. But we have to realize that that's what's the basis of continuous improvement and getting better. So I had a little bit of a revelation when I was thinking about needing standards. I talk a lot about hey, we need cleanliness. We need organization. We need safety. We need delivery schedule. We need scheduling systems with flow. And sometimes if somebody just takes me at face value, it can be like, yeah, Jason, I get that. That's great. I love it. Fantastic stuff there. Appreciate it. But they think that I want cleanliness for cleanliness sake. They think that I want organization for organization's sake, or safety or deliveries or scheduling. But really, it all comes down to this concept of first stabilize, then optimize. Why do I want cleanliness? Because cleanliness is the basis for everything else on site. If it's clean, we can see that quality problem. If it's clean, we can see that safety problem. If it's clean, we can see this capacity problem. If it's clean, we can see what we need to see and predict the future and anticipate the future and be out there like army generals on site. If it's dirty, all we're worried about is how can I walk around here? So I want it clean to create stability so I can optimize flow. Why do I want to organize? Because if it's organized, I reduce motion, I reduce transportation, I reduce the amount of treasure hunts that there are, I reduce the chaos with information, and I'm able to enable information and materials and workers and all of these other things to flow to optimize the system. But I can't do it in a non-stable environment. Safety, same thing. Deliveries. Why do I want standard delivery? Some people think, oh, Jason just wants to be fair and doesn't want delivery showing up. No. I don't care when your delivery comes in, outside of wanting them in according to the right inventory buffer just in time. I don't want them too early. I don't want them too late. I don't want no inventory, and I don't want too much inventory. I want the right inventory according to the right inventory buffers. And the way I get that is by ordering and executing on just-in-time deliveries according to inventory buffers. Stability, stabilize. Scheduling. Why do I care about tax planning? People are like, Jason loves this tax planning. He and Spencer have a YouTube channel. They wrote a book. Great. I love it. That's interesting. Maybe one of these days I'll check it out. No. That's not why we do those things. We do those things because we have to stabilize. If you can't see workflow, trade flow, and logistical flow, then you don't have a schedule that will create stability. And without stability, you will never optimize your project. And so my point is, if you want your superintendents to go do lean, or you want them, not that you do lean, but you go do lean, or you go implement the last planner system, or implement IPD, or get really good with coordination, or have advanced quality control, or go to the district office and create schedules and help with proposals and things like that, or negotiate, or create a remarkable experience for the owner, then you better darn well have personal organization, team balance, and health. And you'd better have a clean, safe, organized site with just-in-time deliveries. And you'd better darn well make sure that you have the right scheduling systems with Takt planning, or else your project won't be optimized. In the integrated production control system, we go through steps on how do you implement a clean, safe project rigidly to create that stability so you can improve with your trade partners in that collaborative environment. And so if somebody wants to optimize, if we want to implement lean, we have to have this stable environment. And there are ways to do that. And that's why I recommend we watch the movie Patton, the 1970s version. In the movie, if you really get that feeling of like who he was in his good moments, and he trained like he had people train like soldiers, act like soldiers, salute like soldiers, prepare like soldiers, dress like soldiers. They were always practicing like they wanted to play. They were always fanatically stable, because instability, then Patton could adapt and react and continuously improve against the Nazis. When the army's only trying to take care of their own chaos, they'll never get to the point that they need to be so that they can adapt and react, right? And so the United States military, before Patton got there, they were trying to optimize the war before they stabilized it, right? When we get to projects, we're trying to optimize it before we stabilize it. Whenever we do anything without stability, we're heading towards the optimization, which will fail outside of a stable and standard environment. We have to fix this. We have to get past it. Because it's only in stability that we can then optimize, that we can then recover. that we can then get people their promotions, their training, their personal development, their career improvement, the lean, the integrated project delivery, Scrum, advanced pull planning techniques, work packaging, BIM, coordination, quality, all of these things you want your teams to do. People are always like, well, superintendents are so busy. No, that's actually not it. Wrong answer. When somebody says, well, we've burdened superintendents with so many things, that is not the case. I can go run any size project. I have, because I've had practice and I put in the right systems, right? And it takes me a minute to adapt, but I can go run any size project and work a 45, 50, 55 max hour week and have extra time to spare to improve the project. Why? Because it all comes down to the personal organization, your team coverage, and your team balance and health. Takt planning, creating that capacity and having stable environments where you're not babysitting people, where you hold the line and you have that remarkable project. That's just how it goes. So our supers aren't overburdened with paperwork. Our superintendents are overburdened with waste from a lack of personal organization. And I say that because I love them. I love supers. I quit my job as an executive to come start a business so I can help them. I'm not making fun of you. I'm not here trying to downgrade you. I'm here saying that in this industry, we keep saying, oh, we don't have enough workers. We're in trouble, or we superintendents have too many things to do. I'm telling you, we need to figure out how to get by without all of this stuff. We've been living in economies of scale. I'm kind of glad nobody can find workers, because it's going to force us to get smarter with the workers that we have. It's going to force us to stop crash landing projects so we can have consistent crew sizes. It's going to force us to eliminate the waste. It's going to force us to be lean. Somebody says, why is Japan lean? It's because they have a rice culture of connectedness and respect for people. And they're stuck on an island, right? And their island culture forces them to have respect for resources. In the United States, we don't respect resources and we don't respect people. To prove if somebody's like, oh, Jason, you're being a little hard, I respect people. Bathrooms, boom, I got you. That there's no reason in the United States I should walk into a gas station and have a nasty bathroom. There's no reason I should walk into a construction project with nasty bathrooms for our workers. There's no reason for these things. Some countries, a lot of countries actually, that have respect for people in some of these cultures, you're not going to walk into a bathroom like I could walk into in the United States in Circle K and want to vomit. Like, you're not going to go onto a construction project and find a porta potty without toilet paper. We don't respect people. And we have to stop blaming everything on everybody else and saying, oh, we don't have enough people. We don't have enough this. We don't have enough resources. I need more people. I need more time. I need less paperwork. No, you need to be more effective with what you have, because you're not stabilizing things. You're heading towards the optimization before you stabilize. So think like Patton. My point is this, that if you don't currently have a remarkably perfect project, if you don't have a remarkably clean project, if you don't have a remarkably safe project, if you don't have a remarkably organized project with deliveries, if you don't have a schedule that's visible within 30 seconds that everybody can see on a single page with all three types of flow, then get rid of these CPM tactics and these schedules. For the love of all things holy, please, will you please stop it and go to the right scheduling system, Takt planning and visual flow schedules. Please stop the madness and get yourself a personal organization system and get your team balanced and build that team like Patrick Lencioni says, and let's get going, because that's the only way. That is the only way you're going to improve that job. That's the only way you're going to pick up that time. That's the only way you're going to create that remarkable experience. That's the only way you're going to get home on time to your families. And I want to say one thing. And for those of you watching the video, please check it out. For those of you listening, I'm going to explain this. I've got what's kind of like an S-curve chart going on here. And at the top of the chart, I got a little circle. And this circle is our job. And I'm going to write up here, outstanding. And I'm going to write perfect right up here. Okay. And then kind of on the tip of the S curve right up there, I'm going to write good. And then halfway down, I'm going to write okay. That's mediocre. And then down here at the bottom, I'm going to write bad. Okay. Anything below the line, and bad's below the line, anything down here, you're out of business. if you notice what's happening, there's no difference from a gravity or a difficulty standpoint. That ball's trying to go down the hill and you're trying to push it up the hill. There's no difference between good and okay. It's just as hard. The only time that it's starting to get easier and there's less gravity on you is when you're up at the top of the hill and it's more flat and it's stable, and where you strive for perfection. That's when systems get good. It was never easy for me on construction projects to keep it clean or organized or to have quality unless I demanded perfection. I said, perfect will just have to do. Yeah, and I would joke with the workers, if you're striving for anything more than perfection, you're wasting your time. I don't want to waste your time. All I want is perfect. I don't want to, I don't need you to go any farther past perfect cleanliness. Just get it perfect and then we can go take a break. I would tease with everybody, but they knew what I wanted. I want it perfect because only perfection has less gravity. Good, because when you strive for perfection, you get good. When you strive for good, you get okay. When you strive for okay, you get bad. When you strive for bad, you get out of business. Okay. And I do want to say, for those of you who are good at your job or you run good jobs, that's the worst thing you can be. You have to stop being good and you need to start heading in the right direction. You've heard Jim Collins say, good is the enemy of great. It's because we stop. And if you stop either in this life or in eternity, you're headed in towards hell, meaning your misery. You're going to head towards misery because once you've arrived, once you've gotten somewhere, once you're like, I'm going to stop progressing, I'm going to stop improving, that's disease, discomfort, ignorance, destruction, all of the negative things. You cannot stop. It's just like being on a treadmill. You stop going forward, you're automatically going backwards. We need you to head in a good direction. We need you to constantly be progressing here and in eternity. That is what lean is all about. So if you're good, you better be striving towards perfection. And that goes back to when I say stabilize, I didn't say stabilize like, oh, that's good enough. I said I want it perfectly clean. I want it perfectly organized. I want it perfectly safe. Then and only then can you optimize that project. And the current condition is we're in chaos. We can't do that. We can't do that. So my challenge is strive for perfection. Stabilize your project is the first priority. And if you're a foreman or super or anybody doing continuous improvement efforts and you're improving in a chaotic environment, stop it and stabilize first. On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.